What's up, everybody? It's your favorite show, Get a Bucket. I'm your host, Trey, and as usual, hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful day. We got a nice full show today. We'll have one more, so you know he gonna be late, but it's all right, though. It's a casual show. But we got here my man Kenny, Ray, Reese, and London. We got two newcomers, though, so you know, y'all already know Reese and Ray, so we don't have to introduce them again, thank God. We can go ahead and say what's up to Kenny and London. So, Kenny, since you, I guess, first in the order way I'm looking, at least, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself real quick? Give all your plugs, too. Give all your plugs.
I like how you call me about my government, but for those that everybody out there knows me as Bob Smooth, I am the owner of Made by Bob Collection. If you want some new drip, go cop it. Shout out to Trey.
I like that. London, go ahead and get your plug in.
Yeah, London Cundiff. I don't really have no plugs. Not too much social media. Find me on Facebook if you want to friend me. But yeah, shout out to Trey for having me on.
Hey, I appreciate that. And I always got to say, too, I think it's a very dangerous man who's not really on social media like that. So, you know, maybe you got to keep an eye out for him. He might have
he up to no good.
He G14 classified, dog. You can hear me? I don't know.
Leaving no traces behind.
Exactly. On there now.
Exactly. But look, fellas, you know, I ain't going to do that to you. Ray, give your plug in, man. Give your plug in. I ain't gonna do that to you.
Oh, man, it's all love, bro. Like, I appreciate y'all having me back, man. It's your boy, the sports reporter without pay. Y'all see the SRWOP. You can find me everywhere on that. You can find me on Twitter, but I don't use it. YouTube and Facebook. That's where you see me dropping content. You know what I'm saying?
All right, Reese, go ahead. Give them your plug real quick.
Hey, man, it's Reese, man. Sports enthusiast. Most of you gonna see me on is right here on Get a Bucket with Trey. Let's get it.
Let's get it.
Hold on. I gotta ask a question before we start. This joint is called Get a Bucket. Can everybody on this joint get a bucket?
Come on now.
Oh, go crazy, Reese. Go crazy, Reese. Word. All right, bet.
Trey, I try to do everything. You know, if you want to see me, I was live today.
Trey, you just came from getting buckets. I already know you get buckets.
I get a couple. I try to get a couple when I can. Yeah.
I'm gonna get buckets on this show.
Hey,
it's good to drink. So, we're gonna talk about Deshaun Watson. We're gonna start it off with Deshaun. Right. Let me go ahead and get this banner popping situated. He has a suspension and an appeal, like 6-game suspension. Is it fair? Is it unfair? Kenny, you the Browns guy, you the Browns expert, you the Browns enthusiast. What can Brown do for you? What can Deshaun Watson do for you? Is this unfair? Is this fair? Like, what was that? How did that sit for you?
All right, so the situation is like a sensitive situation. So, you know, like anytime you're dealing with women, you can't really say if it's fair or not until the last final call. I don't approve of the decision, but I feel like if he stays ready for those 6 games coming in, although he's not going to be adjusted to game speed and all that, but like hopefully he's scrimmaging and hopefully he's practicing. But like, I mean, Deshaun is nice. Like, we all know that. The only time like he's ever been like in poor performance, I feel like is because of all the other bullshit outside of football. So, with that being said, I feel like he will be ready if he stays ready for the 6 games coming in. Do I think it's fair? No, but then, like, I can't speak for women, to be honest. So, like, that's as far as it goes for me. But,
So, you feel like it should have been less games or...
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
If you were to ask me, if I would have, 100%. Like,
okay. So like 0, so like 0, 1, 2, like what number would you?
I mean, to be fair, I feel like they should have given him like 2 to 4 games.
2 to 4?
3 to 4 games and fine him however much he needs to get fined, just so like he appeals to the masses.
Okay.
So like fine him however he needs to get fined. Suspend him from 3 or 4 games, but then like, I mean, 6 games like half of the season, bro. It's like, let's just say he comes in like he's not fucking Jesus, though. Like, he's not gonna like say the Browns are ass for those 3 games. We can't expect this man to like pick it up and like get them to the playoffs. You feel me? And then the unfair part. That's what's gonna be placed on him. and when we get to those 6 weeks. But I mean, yeah, do I think it's fair? No. Do I think he should have gotten fined or he got suspended? Yes, 3 to 4 games. But hopefully he is ready. Like, I just hope that he's ready.
Okay.
I have one of my boy that works for the Browns, and so far what he's telling me, they're looking good. They're looking good. Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask the other guys this then. Does anybody think it's unfair that? Oh, I'm sorry. Do they think it's unfair that he only got 6 games? I know like some people are thinking that he should get a year.
Oh my.
It's like where do you guys land on that?
Oh my goodness. The whole season?
Matter of fact, let's do it like this. Landon, let's start with you.
I'm actually one of the ones that think he should get more games.
Okay.
The level of detail that they have, if you watch the deposition, if you look at the reports they released, come on, man. It don't look good. And the NFL, this is a global sport now, right? We're appealing all over. So as far as brand, we got to keep it clean. If we kicking people out for dog fighting and things like that, then when we got proof, we got evidence, especially with the times that we're living in now, everybody fighting for their rights. So 6 games is kind of, that's that superstar. We gonna look out for you.
Pat on the back
type thing, yeah. So I think the appeal was actually to give him more games. If I'm understanding it correct, I don't think the appeal was for less.
For a full year.
We're already on that train of thought that people are not going to respond to this well. So I actually do think it is unfair, and it probably will be raised if not another 3 games, probably the whole, maybe 12.
Okay. Now, Ray and Reese, let me ask you guys this then. From an NFL perspective, do you feel like they're doing this because they think it's the right decision, or they feel like it's going to affect the bottom dollar? Like, is it a morale thing or is it a business thing?
I think the business thing was having a third party be the one to get the first sentence or whatever you want to call it in terms of the ruling. I think that was a business decision. I think the commissioner was tired of being at the front of those decisions, and then we basically were going to be talking about him right now. You know what I mean? More so than Deshaun Watson on what the decision he made was. And so I think he kind of used that third party to kind of get the ball rolling. That way he can come through and kind of just cut heads off. Just because I think, again, especially, and a lot of the conversations have been around the fact that it hasn't been fair on how they're treating owners towards players on these similar circumstances. And I just think it's really odd that, unlike the Calvin Ridley situation where you can see in black and white, with this sort of tampering, this is what the repercussions are. But it's taken until 2022 for a $230 million guaranteed quarterback for them to finally be like, okay, this is what the punishment is going to be. First with the third party's opinion, and then we're going to I feel like everybody thought it was going to be appealed. I mean, I didn't think it was over.
Right.
Personally. Ray, what you think?
This whole situation is stupid and I'm tired of it. But so let's start with my man said, this was like the superstar treatment. We're gonna look out for you. It's the exact opposite, actually. The NFL didn't make a decision yet. Like they put it in somebody else's hands, right? The funny thing is the NFL making themselves look worse. Because it was almost like, we're going to put this in the judge's hands and hope they be they wanted them to come down with the iron fist. And then when they didn't, now you really got to show your hand. Because what you going against it, you're saying, this is what we really want, right? But since y'all didn't do it for us, now we got to come show y'all what we really think. And here's the crazy thing. Can't nobody tell me what he did. What he been convicted of. He ain't been convicted of nothing. He been convicted about as much as me sitting right here in this room. Nothing, right? And man, from day one, a lot of it didn't make sense to me, right? And oddly enough, every single person has settled out except for the initial person. How crazy is that? The initial person who filed a charge against him is the only person who still hasn't settled. meaning every single Me Too person settled down. How wild is that? One person said, hey, I got a problem with this guy. 23, 24, 25, however many the number was, came and said, me too. Wait a minute, no, I don't. It's weird, man. It's weird. Like, the whole thing is weird. And there's no hard facts, right? Like, even if you're reading depositions, and you're looking at the proceedings, and you're going, that man ain't been found guilty of nothing. So basically, we're saying we're going to punish him for something that looked like it might not be what we think it wanted to be. And then, yeah, truthfully, he sat out a whole year already.
It's just because it's a volume.
I'm about to say 27 is kind of a wild number.
Yeah.
You read that, like, yeah, 20,
that's the only thing.
1, 2,
Hold on. Hey,
maybe even 3.
Yeah, 27.
Like
27
allegations against.
And what they at now?
I mean, they got removed. I'm just saying though, like that number,
money always gonna talk though.
It's money. It's money.
Money always gonna talk.
Yeah. I think that's what people are focusing on though. It's
Right.
like it's like when you see that number, it's like, okay, you think of Tiger Woods, you think of Bill Cosby. Like once you started hearing higher numbers, okay, now it started creeping in. Like maybe there's some validity to it. Because even
predatory behavior.
Because like if you can say it, like if I'm Deshaun Watson, I'm only gonna have 1, maybe 2 receivers.
Yeah, I just feel like he just put himself in such an awful situation.
There was
I got a question.
66 women in 17 months.
I got a question for you.
Come on, man.
If he was white,
gotta
what do you
be
think his
smarter.
punishment would be?
Regardless if he was white, brown, green, or purple, you make that much money, you need to be smart on how
No,
you
I'm
move.
hip. I'm hip on his decision.
He
but
just
I'm
moved dumb.
I'm hip. I'm saying, like, if he was white, what would his punishment be?
I personally feel like you put him up there, like I said, the comparison right now is an owner versus a player. And so if we're going owner versus player, them owners is white. We finally get a white player from the NFL. That's another opportunity to just kind of like let the judge do what the judge gonna do. But if it don't go how I want it to go, I'm bringing the iron fist down. Like this is white. That's white to white now. You know what I mean? Now I don't even have to feel like, you know what I mean? I don't have those conversations on, oh, we're doing this because he's an African American quarterback. You know what I mean? This is a white man. and you know what I mean? Versus those white owners. Oh yeah, like we can punish this guy just like we should have punished them. I feel like that's how the NFL would have carried. You know what I mean?
So you think he still get 6 games?
I think he'll get 6 games, and I think the NFL would still then again appeal it. Just because, like I said, they want to be able to use that person as an example, right or wrong. That's all they're trying to say right now as an example.
So let's ask Byron real quick, because Byron got a little experience with the NFL, so an NFL SME over here. Byron, let's ask this first. Do you think it's fair or unfair that Deshaun Watson got 6 games? And if you say fair or unfair, do you think he's got more or less?
I would say, truth be told, there's no precedent for it. I mean, and the reason why I say this is because you have others who were accused of sexual assault and things like that, like Roethlisberger, right? So when I look at the Roethlisberger case and how that got swept underneath the rug, and it was 6 that got reduced to 4, I believe, if I heard that correctly. So sexual assault is sexual assault. I mean, even if it's 1 person or 30, I mean, I don't think the numbers should really matter, because if you kill 1 person, you kill 1 person. I mean, if you killed 100 people, you still killed that 1 person. So do I think 6 games is fair? Truth be told, I'd probably give him 8. Half of the season. Half of the season, whatever it may be, something to where they set a precedent, that you lose half of the season and you can't get paid for that half of the season, regardless if you have a guaranteed contract or not, something like that.
Ray brought up a point that he's already missed an entire season. So would you factor that into your decision as well?
I would say no. The reason why I would say no is because I feel like a lot of people hold the NFL or these public spaces as if they're greater than other people. There's individuals who get in trouble every single day and they don't get any repercussions in their job sometimes. So why does the NFL or these other public franchises or these multi-billion-dollar franchises, similar to an Fortune 500 company. Why is the NFL imposing a an action to a player that happened off the field? I mean, that's kind of how I feel with it. I don't think the NFL should have disciplinary actions because
I mean, I
NFL
can answer that question for you. It's branding.
Yeah,
It's branding. It's
yeah,
gonna look bad.
that's right. Yeah.
It's gonna look bad, so they have to. Like, as much as the NFL, we all know the NFL don't give a fuck about no domestic violence. Come on, like, let's be real. No, they don't give a fuck. Like, facts. And then the only reason why they're doing this because it's gonna fuck with advertising. Period.
It came out.
Yeah, okay, that's true. But my counter to you on that is now, if it was an advertisement thing, why is he getting all of this praise when he's practicing in Cleveland right now? Right, all the fans are asking for autographs.
Because that's Cleveland. That's the team in itself. But like the NFL as an entirety, it's gonna affect them if they have like.
Let me ask you a question. When has any incident involving a player off the field, be it Ben Roethlisberger with the sexual assault, be it Mike Vick in the dogfight, being Ray Lewis in his situation, be it Ray Caruth, be it Ray Rice in domestic violence, Greg Hardy in domestic violence, the New York kid that beat his wife. What's the receiver, bro? He killed somebody. He killed a man. Riding in his car, he drove and killed a man. None of this stuff has ever affected the NFL. Right? None of this stuff has ever affected the NFL. Ever. Like when people go, they worried about their brand. Maybe, right? Everything that people go, this is going to affect them. It never does. People thought when Colin Kaepernick was kneeling, white people was going to start watching football. They didn't. They just cried on social media. That's it. People, like, the sport is always going to survive. The whole idea that, Brandon, so people don't care about that stuff. They going to cry about it for a couple days until there's something else to talk about.
When I say advertisement, I don't mean people specifically. I mean like companies and like the people involved with the NFL, like the businesses, not necessarily the audience.
I'm gonna tell you this: one business is waiting for them to end the partnership with the NFL so they can get in there.
I don't think. I'm right with Ray. Ray is spot on. That's the most lucrative business in the world. Like outside of Fortune 500 companies, contractors, the NFL is the most lucrative business in the world. They're not losing a dime for what nobody does. I promise you, they're not worried about Deshaun. Unfortunately, I'm all pro women. I have sisters and we all have a mother. So I'm all pro women. But at the end of the day, the NFL is not worried about anything that hurts the brand outside of owners doing something that they're not supposed to do or things like that. Because you got people who are racist, people who killed people, people who stolen, people who cheated, and it's still on Sundays. That thing is on every Sunday, Thursday, and Monday. The NFL will be on, and it will continue to be on regardless of what's going on. Thanksgiving, because football is embedded into literally the culture of the culture of the country. So, and also, I'm not going to get into this one book that y'all should read. It's called $40 Million Slave. It's a great book. Y'all should read it.
Read it.
Football, so football is modern day slavery. You think they're about to stop losing money? No, that is generating.
Such a reach. God, that's such a reach.
That's a reach. Okay. Answer me this, right?
Answer me this. I feel like it's gonna be a whole nother discussion.
Answer me.
Rest of the episode. What we gonna do?
Niggas can go on for hours.
Since I wanted to talk about a little struggle, right? Help me, because the Browns and the Panthers. Y'all know I'm a Panthers fan. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, we got the remnants of the Browns. Like, I don't know how that happens, but we got Baker Mayfield apparently for a little discount. Cool. Like, who won this trade? Ray, I feel like you look like you got a little disgust. I feel like you still want to get some talking now, so I'm gonna let you start it off. But then we're going to slide over to London, too, though, because he was a little quiet towards that last conversation. So, we're going to be talking next. So, Ray, what you got? Who won this trade? Or who won this signing, if you will? Did the Browns lose it, or did the Panthers win it?
The Browns won. the team that got Baker Mayfield off their roster won this, right? First off, man, did you say you're a Carolina fan?
I did.
Bro, listen,
Super fast.
I feel bad for you, bro. Imagine your team signing Baker Mayfield, and it's a big deal.
Hold on. Also, let me say
Yo.
The Browns are not my team, but I follow them a lot. The Eagles are my team. Let's get this right.
Hey man, listen. First off, I don't have any room to talk about how bad a franchise is. I'm a Lions fan. Don't get you nigga.
Facts.
But bro, Baker Mayfield is better at commercials than he is football.
Yeah, he got a lot of Hulu commercials.
And I'm gonna tell you the perfect example, man. We all thought Odell's dad was tripping. Right? We all remember the drama, right? All in social media and in the news was like, oh, they not getting the ball, they not doing this, Baker's not doing this. That man, everybody was saying Odell might be washed, and he went right over to the Rams like, no, I can still play. Like, Baker's not a very good football player, man. I don't even think he's an upgrade over Darnold. I really don't. Like, they're probably even, like, they're in that same breath, man. All these quarterbacks that come out of Oklahoma or USC, right?
They came out the same year, right?
Let's not throw USC. We didn't do nothing to nobody in this discussion. Let's not.
You said USC.
Nah, USC.
Like Matt Minor, like Sanchez, like David Booty, like bro.
They did nothing to nobody. But we were innocent bystanders today.
I'm just talking about put it like this, man. Baker Mayfield only gets talked about because his name is Baker Mayfield. In college, he was lights out. He made a name for himself. Won some awards, and then he gets to the league. He hasn't been very good in the league, right? They still put him in commercials. To them, he's an all-American, good old guy, right? And they put him in commercials, and people talk about him. Just go look at what he's done on the field. He's not a very good quarterback. So, like, for that to be like the thing, like we got Baker Mayfield, bro. That's like Cleveland won, right? What addition by subtraction? Cleveland won. By the way, I think Cleveland gonna go like 4-2 in their first 6.
That's crazy. Okay, so that goes to my next question then. London, if you're a betting man, right? Like, who you gonna put your hard-earned money on for week 1? Because we do play the Browns, so I hope we win. But I'm a fan, so I don't want to get my answer. Like, who do you think?
I still don't think they announced a starting quarterback in Carolina, right?
Like, let's go Baker. Let's go Baker. Although I will just throw out there, Sam Darnold, weeks 1 through 4, MVP. But that's another discussion for another day. London.
I mean, I agree that the Browns won, and I also will put my money on the Browns.
That's tough.
Trey, you're not gonna hear.
You brought in Baker as this big trade, right? He's our guy. And you still haven't named him as the starter. You gotta earn it. Like,
nobody else.
It's all a show. If we talked him up this much, come on now.
We got an incumbent who ain't do that bad. Again, from weeks 1 through 4, MVP candidate. That's all I want to say. So I mean, you are
not going for Carolina in week 1. Stop it. You're not putting get a buckets money on the Panthers for week 1.
I'm throwing money on my guys. We about to win.
Trey, let me ask you this. If there's any team in the world who knows every single Baker Mayfield weakness, who do you think it is?
The Browns.
They gonna put a hurting on that boy. Oh man, Myles. Oh my God.
You know what Myles Garrett is waiting to do to that boy?
Oh my God.
He want him to be the starter for week 1.
But we still got Christian McCaffrey though. DJ Moore not bad. I'm just saying it's more. At least Baker got
McCaffrey tired of carrying y'all.
Bruh,
but Baker always had a weapon.
He'll get injured again if you keep relying on him like they.
Well, see, that's why we got Chuba Hubbard as well. So I'm just, we got people to hand off the ball to outside of CMC.
The Panthers are a JUCO organization.
That's very disrespectful. That's very disrespectful.
If you want to make that bet with you, Trey.
You said what?
I'll make that bet.
He don't want to make that bet.
In Carolina gonna win, I'll make that bet.
Give him a touchdown. That's still a safe bet. You like the point is give him the points.
You heard
give him the first score. Give him everything.
We're gonna win by 7.
I'm gonna win by a touchdown.
I almost said 10, but I ain't want to put that much on it. I ain't gonna put that much on it. But no one's going for this Panthers. Okay, so that was a little quicker segment than I really thought. You know what I mean? Maybe this one gets a little longer conversation because we are talking about projections, right? So, Aaron Rodgers, what's his future looking like? Byron, let's start it off with you. What's my man Aaron Rodgers looking like? Can he get another MVP? Like, is he over the hill? Do you trust him? Like, talk to him.
I mean, truth be told, I mean, he and Tom Brady historically have had some of the worst divisions in football. So, and even the Cowboys as well, they have a very bad division as well. I know you're an Eagles fan, but that's a very bad division. I'm sorry to tell you that. So, truth be told, when you see teams like the Cowboys and the Packers getting to the playoffs and then they lose every time in the first round or after the bye week, is because the level of competition that they played for 8 games is not very good. So in regards to Aaron Rodgers, with no weapons, he doesn't trust anybody. He has no weapons. He lost Vasquez, I think his last name is, and he lost Adams. And he lost Adams. He lost 2 of his weapons. On top of that, they couldn't score against the 49ers at home. So to me, Aaron Rodgers is, I mean, he's a great arm talent, don't get me wrong. What's his future? I mean, he should just go play Jeopardy. Go host Jeopardy.
Wow.
Truth be told. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. I didn't say he wasn't talented.
That's insane.
He doesn't have any of the surrounding pieces that's helped him. Okay, you'll see.
Hey, Aaron, if you're listening, you can try to host my show. Like, I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just throwing. Hey, we can work together. I'm not. I'm just gonna be honest with you. If you really sit there and watch a Packers game, Devontae Adams, what he had, like 18 touchdowns last year, 17 touchdowns, or something crazy like that. It was something like that. Who is he gonna throw the ball to in the red zone?
Lazard. Yeah, there you go, Lazard.
He did all right in fantasy. Lazard was all right in fantasy.
Yeah, okay, Lazard, great. Don't get me wrong. They'll probably win that division. Cool. They'll win that division, no problem. Don't worry about it. They'll win the division. They got the Lions, the Vikings.
Hey, Byron, I don't know if you came on before or after I said I was a Lions fan. Just watch them out. Watch them over there.
Listen, man. I am Mr. Controversy. So just understand that now. I'm gonna throw things out there. It is what it is.
Hey, real quick. I just want to ask a question.
No, please don't do this. Okay.
Do you think Chris Webber's a bum?
A bum?
Yeah.
Do you? No, literally. Answer that question. It's not a. Do you think he's good? Do you think he's bad? Do you think Chris Webber is a bum? That is the question. It's a yes or no question.
That's a wild ass question to even ask somebody, though.
Is it? Isn't that wild, Byron? Do you think that's a wild question to ask somebody?
Listen. Okay.
No, don't do that.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Since you want to get off topic, is Chris Webber a top 5 or top 10 power forward of all time?
He's not top 5 because the top 5
is he top 10?
In fact,
that's the top 10.
In fact, one.
Is he? Oh
dang.
No
is
music.
Is he top 10? No, he's not even top 10. He's not even top 10.
I think you could probably put him at number 10.
Top 10.
Yeah, but you can't call my man a bum, though.
No.
Chris Webber's a bum. Chris Webber's a bum.
Nah, chill out.
Everybody else is
bum.
Like,
he's not top 10. He's not top 10.
He's not top 10. But
no, hold on. The fact that he had the audacity to say and to put his name in the conversations of, I was banging with Tim Duncan and Kevin Garnett.
But he played against them.
No, he was talking like he was one of them. He wasn't one of them. Like,
he wasn't too far off, though. Around that time, he wasn't too far off. These teams just suck.
His team sucked.
That's what his team.
His team sucked. Hold on now. He had a great team in Sacramento.
They had a great team in Sacramento.
Okay, but we're talking about right. He's trying to call Chris Webber a bum. Even if he is top 15, there has been 4,300 NBA players
total. To be top 15
That's what
at
I'm
your
saying.
position,
That's
you
what I'm saying.
cannot be a bum.
That's
Now,
what
is
I'm
the
saying.
power-
That's
is
true.
the power- is the
That's
power-
true. That's true.
A bum is
But-
crazy.
But when I say a bum, I say not as good as he thinks or what other people think.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean by bum. He's not as good as what he thinks he was.
Oh yeah,
He
Ray,
just
you
wasn't.
on
You
mute.
muted, Ray. You muted.
you
You
on
muted.
Based on what? He's not as good based on what? First off, and I career over for my computer died.
No, that's no problem.
Like he's not as good as what? What do you mean by that?
Okay, if you look at his
he
numbers,
put himself in the same breath as KG and Tim Duncan, saying
Why
he had
wouldn't
to play and bang
Why
against
wouldn't
the
he?
boys.
Why wouldn't he put himself in that breath?
so you're saying Chris Webber is as good as Dirk Nowitzki, Tim Duncan, and Kevin Garnett?
Why
Different
wouldn't he
skill
be?
sets. It's different.
Hold on.
First off,
Is that a
all
yes
right,
or a no?
it's a hell yes. It's a hell yes.
You gotta consider the man. You got
It's a hell yes.
All right,
Hey,
look, Ray,
you know
Ray,
what's
hold on.
crazy?
Ray, no, that you answered the question just then. We will not get back on topic.
No.
You said a hell yes.
He said hell yes. He not a
Hell
bum.
yes.
You heard what he said.
No.
Hell
I didn't
yes,
just,
you
put him
no, Reese.
call-
Reese.
a
I didn't
bum
just
is
say hell
crazy.
yes. He's not a bum. I said hell yes. He's in the same breath as
Yes, yes.
Kevin
Yeah.
Garnett.
I just want
Overrated
the
Kevin
public-
Garnett. That's what we talking about.
Overrated.
All right,
Overrated
yeah.
Kevin Garnett. See, this is what I'm talking about. We're not gonna get nowhere. We're not gonna get nowhere.
I just want to know what he
Relax.
said, and then we can go on. I just want to know what he said.
He said
Ray,
overrated Kevin Garnett. That's what he
You
said.
need to relax.
You know what we need, Trey? We
Kevin
need a
Garnett's
segment.
overrated?
We need a segment of
So real quick.
overrated and
What did he
underrated players.
So
of all
check
That
time.
would be great. But all I'm gonna say is,
No, I just
if
want to make sure I
KG
understand.
KG goes to the Spurs instead of Tim Duncan. I don't know if you can. I mean, literally just make that swap.
If my auntie had a penis, she'd be my uncle. So
Listen.
Yo.
What Kendrick say? What Kendrick say? My auntie is
In
a man now.
in basketball, right? I don't judge players like this in baseball nor football because they are the ultimate team sport, right? But in basketball, we judge individual players based off team success all the time, right? We always hear Mike 6 for 6. We hear people dog LeBron, finally, all that crazy stuff, right? Why don't nobody talk about KG Prime? Why we don't talk about it?
Because he was in Minnesota.
No,
He in Minnesota now.
Reese.
Yeah, we
We
gonna
in
get
Minnesota, man.
we gonna
Hold
slide.
on.
I can't take that.
So let me just throw this out, Trey, before
Listen,
you
ladies
move
and gentlemen.
Hold
I
on,
just
Trey,
wanna
can I
say
just say it so y'all don't
apologize.
think I'm crazy?
There are a couple of drug addicts up here. They on that. You know
No,
what I'm saying?
no.
Like,
Trey, okay.
I'm bringing.
So,
I'm
Trey,
bringing that Mexican cocoa.
Trey,
My
can you
host
answer
are
one
gonna
question for
focus
me?
But
Trey, can you answer
so
one question for me? Trey, what do we remember about Tracy McGrady? What's the knock on Tracy McGrady? What do people talk about when it comes to playoffs?
Injuries.
Not injuries. When we talk playoffs with Tracy McGrady, what we talk about?
He ain't win.
He ain't win.
He ain't make it past what?
Second round. Well, actually,
First round.
he did
I was
make
about
it
to
to
say,
the
yeah.
finals.
Yeah, that's that Spurs stuff. I'm talking about in his prime when he was that guy. He never made it past the first round, right? In 12 years in Minnesota, how many times KG make it out the first round all week? I know that.
Yo, stop playing.
I know the answer.
Okay,
I know the answer. Somebody answer it.
Ray,
Somebody
Ray,
answer it.
we're gonna.
Nobody want to answer it.
I like this guy.
Nobody want to answer it.
Hold
I
on.
fuck with him.
Hold on.
Nobody want to answer it.
Hold on. I'm gonna tell you right now. I like this guy.
You cannot slander KD. You cannot slander KD.
But
He was called the big ticket.
we're really going.
We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do
He's
that.
called the big
Who we-
ticket.
A power forward to a
might-
6'9" shooting guard. He's a 6'9" shooting guard to a 6'9" shooting guard. That's a like you trying to.
Hey, look,
You could have did anybody else. How often Chris Webber make it out of what's the first Chris Webber made it? Let's do them comments.
See. We gotta move on. Because I think y'all might be interested in this conversation. The Warriors, right?
That's my squad. That's my squad.
Well,
Don't
but
be
here's
hating.
my question.
That's my team.
Because Andrew Wiggins, he did say that he kind of resented getting the vaccine. You know, maybe there might be a little issue. Maybe he might feel a little hesitation with signing with the Warriors. I don't know. So anything could happen. Should they re-sign Andrew Wiggins, or should they try to trade Andrew Wiggins? Because his stock is quite high right now.
Can I go first on this one? I just want to
I would let Byron go first since he is the Warriors fan, but then we'll slide to you next week.
Isn't Bob a Warriors fan too, right? He said he's a Warriors fan too.
Yeah.
I would keep him. I mean, he led us in rebounds. He was a very crucial part in the finals, even all the way up in the whole playoffs. I mean, he did a great job. Is he a superstar? No. I think he's a good role player, and he fits the Warriors and what they're trying to accomplish. He's athletic. He two-way guy. They can play their lineup and what they want to play, the depth lineup, especially with Poole's development coming around and things like that. Poole's going to have to start, unfortunately, because you can't keep bringing him off the bench. They're going to pay him. He has to start. So
I think he should come off the bench, though.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. I think he should.
But 5 spots on the court.
Yeah, I think he should come
Steph,
off the bench.
Clay,
Talk about it.
Wiggins.
Stop right there. Steph Clay, where is he going to start?
That whole
honestly,
PTSD
truth be told,
did not work past the Nuggets. Like they only played them against the Nuggets. Other than that, them guys did not all touch the court together. That was something that Warriors fans did on Twitter. That was not real life.
Well, I would say this. Because Wiseman's coming back next year. He can shoot the 3-ball and things like that. They're saying too. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. We're gonna be dangerous. We're gonna have Kuminga, Wiseman, Wiggins. I mean, don't get me wrong. The team's gonna be loaded. So I would definitely keep Wiggins. I mean,
but would you give him the max?
Kuminga,
Would you give him the max?
No.
He gonna be looking for that though. Right now, he getting.
All right, let me just
no,
say this.
because we got Kuminga development.
But
We got Kuminga.
Look, Dan, that's what I'm saying, though. Let me say this
Now
then.
you're saying you don't want to keep him. So what you gonna trade him now? Because he's gonna look for 36.
At the
He's getting
end of the
32
day,
right now.
the
Nah, he's not gonna.
Warriors-
But he would be an idiot to leave, though.
Would he be?
Yeah,
He would be
100%.
gone.
Generational wealth.
He's not
Damian
gonna win
Lillard,
again.
an idiot for staying at the Trailblazers, but 60 M's really talk. Like, what
No.
are we talking
I mean,
about?
money talks, but at the end of the day, like, what's the NBA about? Is it about money? Or
I mean, but he
It's
already
about
got his
money.
ring, though.
It's about money.
What you mean? It's about
Reese.
money.
Reese, can you say that again for the people in the back?
It's like, what do you mean? He gonna ask me, is it about rings? Was it about money? It's about
Nah,
your bread, your chicken.
all right. When I meant
Well, I
that,
think
when
it's
I
about
meant
the
to say
ring,
that,
but
I meant
people do
like
say it's about
in
money.
terms of like conversation when it comes to basketball.
That matters to
money
you
away.
and me.
You know,
No,
I don't think he
Reese.
cares about it as much.
Reese, say it again. I'm about to let Reese talk to his deep comments. Talk to him, Reese.
Come on now. Okay, look, this is what I was gonna say after I went after Byron. All I'm saying is the Warriors organization is doing kind of similar to what LeBron James can do for you. They can get you paid. What Harrison Barnes do? They let Harrison Barnes go for KD. That's everybody like to make it seem like, oh, they just swapped Harrison Barnes off
Harrison
KD.
Barnes sold me a
Listen,
championship.
Listen. Hear me out. Harrison Barnes, regardless of what he sold you, he went to Sacramento and got paid. KD, he was, no matter where KD was gonna go after he left, he was gonna get what? Paid. Andrew Wiggins, as a 3-and-D wing, after what he did to Jason Tatum, he is going to get paid. It's love. Y'all, you know what he can do? He can really look, because you know he got his trophy case with that one thing in it. That's all he got. He can look at that trophy case and he can say, "Damn, they would not have won that without me." Because y'all wouldn't have won it without him.
At all.
You needed him to do what he did against Tatum. That 3-and-D wing.
Hold on.
Even if you're not gonna say
I have a
Andrew
question
Wiggins
for you.
specifically,
I have a
you
question
needed
for
that
you.
3-and-D wing.
I have a quick question for you. Are you a Wizards fan?
No, I'm a Boston Celtics fan. Y'all paid
Oh.
Kevon Looney.
That's Sharper. Sharper's the
Okay,
I mean, that's
okay.
even
So let me
worse.
ask you this.
Y'all
Let
paid
me
Kevon
ask you this.
$20
then.
M's.
Let me
Y'all
ask you
never
this
even
then.
used the center.
Let me ask you this then. You want to talk about what we doing? How about y'all keep throwing Jaylen Brown's name in trades and not trading him?
No.
That ain't the
That's
question
all.
that was asked.
Yeah,
No,
well.
it's okay. It's okay. I can do this. I can do this.
He got personal.
Yeah, hold on. Because you trying to tell me what my team should do. Y'all
You
need to
got to
worry
ask
about
the
your
question.
team.
You see the look at the ticker at the bottom. You got to ask the question.
We can
I was
talk
about
about
to say,
that. We just
that's
lost to the
something
Warriors.
that's
It's fine.
fine.
It's fine. I'm gonna put it to you like this: if I could trade the second best player on my team for arguably the second best player in the league, that's called business. That's called my.
I wouldn't make that trade for
So
you.
let's slow down.
If I
on
were
that
you, I
second
would not
best
make
player in
that
the league
trade.
stuff.
I would not make
Okay,
that.
well, I'm just saying, you can make an argument for KD being a top 3, top 5 player regardless. But I'm talking about the second, call it 1A,
You're
1B
right, though. No,
player
you're right,
on
you're
my
right.
team
No, you're
for
right,
a
you're right.
top 5 player. So I'm
You're
going to
right.
put Jason Tatum and Kevin Durant next to each other. I'll take that for $500.
No, you're
Let's
right.
get
What I-
Aaron.
what I
I'm
do
sorry,
with
Aaron.
Wiggins-
Let's get him out here. For that.
What I do with Wiggins, I would, if he wants the max, I'd let him go because we can throw Kuminga in there. Now Kuminga is not as developed, but he is very athletic. When he gets in, he does a great job. So I would definitely work on the development of Kuminga if Wiggins. So to answer your question, Trey, If Wiggins wants to max, I'll let him go because I do have Kuminga. Yes.
Okay.
But
Is
the
there
only reason
anybody
why
that
you would do
keep- is
that,
there
the only
anybody
reason why
that
you would do
keep
that,
Wiggins
is
if you wanted the max?
What I
They
keep
can't
no,
keep him.
no, they can't because we got to sign Poole. We have to sign Poole. We have to sign.
217 M's. Wasn't that what y'all
So
textbook
let
said? For that ring that y'all just paid for,
let me ask
217.
y'all this.
Add 50, 60 more to that. That ain't shit. They got a new deal coming out, a new TV deal coming out anyway. That ain't nothing.
Kenny, let me
That
ask you
money ain't
this:
nothing.
who's more valuable to you, Andrew Wiggins or Jordan Poole?
Oh, Jordan Poole by far.
What?
100%. Jordan's
Jordan
younger.
Poole was second in the running
Jordan's
for Finals
younger. Hold on,
MVP,
time
so
out.
yeah, I guess that makes
Jordan
sense.
is younger, and Jordan just got more longevity than Wiggins. Wiggins already had a team where he could have been the star and the franchise player. He joined the Warriors for a
Talking
reason.
about Minnesota again?
Like,
We really talking about Minnesota again?
I'm just pointing out the fact that he already wasn't a team where he could have been that guy.
He
But he-
averages 17 points per game on his
You
career.
only seen him on the
There-
Warriors.
there's
Could've
not
been.
a lot of
He
players who
could've
are
been.
doing
I'm not
that.
saying he was.
I just like to throw out there, Jordan Poole looked like his rival might be Peyton Pritchard. No disrespect, like P-Rabbit, but it looked like that was going to be a nice little battle. So, and again, we just said like Jason Tatum was Andrew Wiggins' nemesis. So that's Jason Tatum, Peyton Pritchard. That's a big drop off. Like, I would think it might be Andrew Wiggins off that personally. And again, Andrew Wiggins is young enough where
But you acting like Andrew Wiggins 30.
First off, I don't
you
know
can
where
make it
Trey
shake.
I don't know where Trey got the idea that Jordan Poole was anywhere near the running for Finals MVP. Like,
I was being sarcastic when I said that. Nobody caught it. I just let it roll.
Okay, I heard it and I was like,
No, I heard it. I didn't say
all heard
anything.
it. We all heard it, Ray. We ignored it.
No,
We ignored
I
it.
was going to
They were
edit
talking
in
about it
some
in the
laughs.
final, though.
That's
We ignored it. We ignored it.
By
I-
Andrew
I-
Wiggins, right? Like, when it comes to the Golden State Warriors, right? There's Steph Curry, and then there's everybody else, right? When you go like what, one band, one sound. No one guy's bigger than the band. Steph Curry's bigger than the team. He's bigger than the band. Everybody else is replaceable,
he
right?
was the
Go
coordinator.
look, bro. They just won a championship with their third different group of players, right? You go look at the 15 championship when you got Iggy, you got Livingston, you got Harrison Barnes, you got
Andrew
Bosa
Bogut.
off the bench, David West, and then everybody's like, they gave up too much to KD. No, not really, because that's KD. So you lose Harrison Barnes, you lose some of that depth off the bench, but you keep Iggy and Livingston, but you lose Barbosa, David West, those guys. JaVale McGee comes in, you lose both. Like, plug and play everybody. That core always been the same. Steph, Clay, Draymond. So what happens? KD's gone, team bad one year, Steph hurt, injury, Clay's got, and then next thing you know, Jordan Poole develops. Kuminga's playing. Nobody ain't even mentioned Moody yet.
No, I like
didn't
Moody.
play on last year, right? So they got so much talent, bro. And this is what the Warriors do, right? Like somebody already mentioned. What has Harrison Barnes done since he left? Nothing. But he was a very, very solid contributor on the championship team. What has KD done since he left?
He was injured.
Very good player, but he ain't done nothing since he left, right? Before this year, if you'd have asked somebody,
Hold on, that's controversial.
That's reckless. That's reckless.
That's
Nothing.
that's a wild.
He's
take. I'm gonna let you finish though.
He got swept.
Speaking facts. Nah, he's speaking facts.
Trey, let me finish when I say do nothing. KD is an all-time great. KD is top 15, 16.
You said what you said.
Right?
You don't have to explain that.
When you say do
Yeah,
nothing, we talking about a
I
guy.
agree with that.
But we talking about a guy who was supposed to be, like we said, he's supposed to be up there with Giannis. He's supposed to be running for best player in the league, right?
Player. He has done
before
nothing.
before Golden State, no championships. Since Golden State, and he went and built a super team, ain't did nothing with that super team. He gonna get his 28, 29 a game. But Brooklyn, as far as the expectations they had, way short.
Okay, all right.
Wait, sure. So
With
there's
Brooklyn,
nothing
though, I'm gonna
love
give him a pass with Brooklyn because of the coaching. The coaching was. I don't think we can give.
Kyrie said they needed
that coach.
Hey,
signed off on that coach.
I can't give
I-
You don't think KD had a say in his coach?
Injury really messed them up.
Bro,
That would
you know
not
what's so
have
funny?
Game 7 against the Bucks that year when the
remember when
Bucks-
They were beating them by 40. They were beating them by 40.
Golden State,
Go ahead,
fans
go ahead,
kill me.
go ahead,
The
go
same
ahead.
fans 1 minute be like, Brooklyn was a half a toe away from they won the championship, and I was like, they have enough. They was a half toe away. That's what y'all said, right? If KD wore a size 11 instead of 13, y'all swore they was gonna win the championship.
That's hilarious. Hey, you funny as fuck.
That's what they say though, right? He had that same shot in overtime and airball. Same shot. Top of the key, missed it. Anyway, Golden State, right? They continuously build that team the same way. Guys between the height of 6'5" and 6'8", long, athletic, 3 and D wings. From the early days with Iggy, Livingston, Harrison Barnes. Then you replace it, you bring in KD, and now you have guys like Poole, Moody, Wiggins. Before last year, Otto Porter could have been on TNT who he played for. Nobody knew where he was at.
Hey, yo.
Nobody knew where he was at. That dude.
I don't.
Listen, hold on, Trey. He was hooping though. Go look at his plus minus. Every time he got on the floor in the playoffs, he made a difference, right? All of a sudden, Andrew Wiggins is a starter on the All-Star team and having an impact on
That's
the NBA.
bullshit. He should never been a starter, and I'm a fan.
That's beside the point, right? I'm simply saying, and when you look at the facts, the way it played out, he should have been a starter. You can't name who should have been there over him based on just popularity, right?
We're talking in the West. What wings are in the West? Kawhi and PG never touched the court.
Yeah, PG was hurt.
So let's fast forward, right? Wiggins can't begin to think that he's not bigger than Ben. He's not Steph Curry. Guess what's gonna happen if Andrew Wiggins leaves? The same thing that happened when KD left. The same thing that happened when Harrison Barnes left. They're gonna find somebody to. Bro, where did Gary Payton 2 come from last year? Where did GP Jr. come from?
Ask Portland how much they did 25, right?
Yeah, I'm simply saying, Trey, that this is what Golden State does. Shout out to Byron, that's your squad. Bruh, they plug and play and they make guys fit into what they do. Kind of like what San Antonio did all these years, right?
See the thing. Go ahead. No, go ahead. I'm agree with you.
They're gonna plug in another 6'7" guy in that starting line.
Kuminga.
Be it Kuminga.
Well, Poole's only 6'2".
This is the thing. I don't know if Kuminga and Draymond work together.
Okay, but look though.
Kuminga has to be a small ball
I'm gonna say this.
I think Kuminga can run the 3. I think
a great follow-up question though.
Kuminga can run the 3.
What?
No, he absolutely not. Hell no.
But
What was the question? Wait,
he's important.
I feel like a good follow-up to this though.
They gotta keep
Andrew
together.
Wiggins and Jordan Poole. Yeah, they pinned it for money, but in reality, Draymond is eligible for a max extension.
Reach, you want to hear something crazy?
You don't.
And I've been saying this since 2015. Clay ain't Steph Curry, Scottie Pippen. Draymond is.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Draymond Green on 29 teams in the NBA. Don't even blink your face to talk about no max money. But on Golden State, he worth every penny he wants. His value lies in being the best player to complement Steph Curry. He's the best player in the world to complement Steph Curry. You
really could put another. I'm not gonna say you can't
put anybody next to Steph Curry.
Yeah, you can put anybody next to Steph Curry.
No, that's not true. No, hold on.
Draymond is better than Clay to Steph. Right? It's interchangeable.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say this.
Did you see how that goes? You don't win any of those championships.
I'm gonna say this.
Oh my God, I love this.
No, I'm gonna say this.
We're gonna talk about Clay in a minute. Another overrated guy.
No, I'm gonna say this. Two things. Number one, I've been a fan since 2007. The Warriors have a great developmental staff. That's number one. Number two, it's very true. I'm a gambler man. That's what I do. FanDuel, all kinds of stuff. I'm telling you now, when Draymond was not playing and Steph Curry was, Steph Curry played terrible.
Because he didn't have his.
He played. He didn't.
As an individual. Hold on. Time out. Is it? No. Listen. Just listen. This year,
bro.
Yeah, this year.
I watched it this year. Last year, I watched it every year.
No, I'm gonna tell you.
We can look at the numbers.
This man done
I'm gonna tell you. There was times where Steph Curry was scoring 10 points, 8 points, 1 for 12, 1 for 13. I gamble. So you may see every 10 games.
I watch every single game, my brother. Every game. Not every 10 games.
I'm there,
every game.
and I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now. I'm a Warriors fan. I'm telling you. Ray is correct. Steph without Draymond is not Steph Curry. Because Draymond, no, hold on, listen. Hold on, let me finish.
Ray said, I said,
hold on, let me finish.
Steph and Draymond ain't Steph and Draymond without Clay.
Steph and Draymond, because Draymond defers to Steph, sets him up, off-ball screens, on-ball screens.
I think
good
it's the opposite. I think
passes.
your statement is the opposite. Draymond isn't Draymond without Steph. I think that's
Oh, don't get me wrong.
That's a fact.
Draymond without Steph is nothing.
that's what
But
I'm
I'm
saying.
saying, but I'm
Draymond without Steph is Anthony Mason.
Yes, but what I am doing is I'm agreeing with Ray in that Draymond really elevates Steph to that next
He compliments.
level because
Yeah,
he
I
sets
agree
him
with
up. He sets him up with screens, on-ball screens, off-ball screens, break passes. He'll
Hey,
pass
Byron.
up a layup to find.
Byron, I just want
Steph
you to
and everything.
I want you to slow down a little bit on the he and Steph Curry, like because if we
I like
recall, before Draymond was even in the lineup, people forget even under Mark Jackson. I always have to tell people, Steph not a real point guard. Did y'all forget when he was averaging 25 and 9, 24 point something points per game, 8.5 assists per game, fifth in the league with Mark Jackson? Because people don't remember that. Like Steph been doing
And
this since
injured.
Davidson.
And
Steph
injured.
is Steph, right?
And
But
injured.
Hey,
go.
fellas,
Go.
I got a question because y'all brought up something about how Steph scoring 10 points and low numbers and all this stuff when Draymond not playing. And I just kind of I did a quick little gander at his stats, right? And I'm not seeing too many low numbers scoring.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
His 3-point
Like,
percentage
it's
shooting
like
went
for me,
down.
I look at
His
it like
numbers
this.
went down.
You have Steph and whoever else is there. For the longest, it was KD.
Trey.
Like it was KD for
Trey.
a little second. Then
Trey.
you got Draymond, you got Clay interchange. Like it is interchangeable. To
Trey.
me. And you can replace Draymond. First,
Trey.
like for example,
I think so too.
give Steph Jokic. Promise you, that's
You
so
just
much.
That's
said-
Jokic.
you
He's
just said
naming the
upgrade.
back-to-back two-time
That's an
MVP.
upgrade.
Like
You said you can't
Draymond.
replace him though, right? You said
No.
you can't replace Draymond.
So if you're gonna say we're gonna replace Draymond with the back-to-back league MVP, if you place him with any top 5, like that's a whole different ball game. But Draymond ain't that. He's not even in that caliber of player, right? But like if you go look earlier in the season, the top 2 teams in the league up until about December, early January was Golden State and Phoenix. Top records in the league, right? Klay Thompson hadn't played a game yet. When did Golden State start slipping in the standings?
That's what I'm saying. London, I don't mean no.
That's a bad
what you
take.
said.
No, that's
I
a
feel
bad
like
take.
Well, no, hold on. But
Right.
look, London-
Am I lying?
London, I feel
They
like
knew
London
they were
and
going to
Bob
make the
Smooth.
playoffs. They're
They
not-
said
Hold
that
on. But that's the only reason why I say that's a bad take. Not to cut anybody off. The only reason why I say that's a bad take is because, yes, they were top in the standings, and yeah, okay, it's cool. But at the end of the day, number one, Steph Curry was out all of March into April. He was out pretty much most of March and all of April. He was out. That's that because of Marcus Smart. But also too, when Clay came back,
Yeah, Marcus
Smart hurt Steph Curry.
He's
Yeah, he
a
hurt
whole
Steph Curry.
team.
Yeah, that was
I'll never-
OD.
Basketball
Let him get
hurts
his
Steph
point out.
Curry. It's a
But
contact sport. It's a contact
But what
sport.
I'm saying,
He intentionally died.
It's a contact sport.
Nah,
He
stop.
did not. Come on
Stop
now.
I think he
Y'all-
learned that from Pat Bev.
You don't even believe that.
Come on
Sound
now.
like a Warriors
I believe in
fan.
hustle. Shout out to Ace
but
Hood.
what
I believe in hustle.
but what I'm saying is, the Warriors are. This is why they're a championship team, and why other
Steph Curry.
teams are not.
'Cause they
Yes,
don't have
Steph Curry. Yes, Steph Curry,
No,
absolutely
you're
100%. But also too, they are okay with losing games to develop other players because look at Jordan Poole's numbers in March and April. February, March, and April, that man's numbers skyrocket. I think he averaged close to, I think it was like 27, 28 points a game, something crazy. And they were losing games. But it didn't matter because he got his development in. And then when they hit the playoffs and things like that, they allow players to be rested. They allow players to be healthy, to be in rhythm. Because Klay Thompson was shooting. He was just shooting. He was chucking.
I think you mistook my comment as they started losing because Klay came back. That's not what I was saying. What I'm saying is, last season the Golden State Warriors went 53-29. They were 34-12 with Draymond in the lineup. They were 19-17 with him out the lineup. You do the math.
I agree with you. No, I agree.
He was
with
500 team when he was on the floor.
I agree with you.
You mean like? And I just want to, hey London, I don't know if y'all know how horrible Klay Thompson was in the 2015 finals. When people think he was so great and he's the beat to Klay Thompson in the finals, he goes for 21 and 34 in games 1 and 2. What y'all think he did the next 4 games? Klay Thompson, this Steph Curry's number 2 guy, right? He's important, right? He scores 14, 9, 12, and 5 over the last 4 weeks. 5 in a closeout game. 12 the game before that. 9 the game before. Why all these crickets? What's going on?
Is the fifth game where he got hurt?
No, I'm talking about 2015. The championship pre-KD.
Hold on.
I mean, but also saying like,
what the fact that he scored 14, 9, 12, then 5 in the last 4 games of 2015.
And they won?
Okay.
And they won?
You know they won.
Exactly. So he does what the team needs him to do. Even if
that's
his
what you
shooting
got
is
from
bad,
that.
he still plays
If
defense.
any other star had those kind of numbers, right?
but if they
Steph Curry averaged 26 and people.
What do you mean? Hold on. What do you mean? Hold on. There have been other stars. Listen, the one. This is not what I'm going. This is not what I'm going to let you do, Ray. I'm not going to let you.
I can't tell you the truth.
I'm not going to let you attack Steph Curry's 2015. Hold on. First of all,
he's attacking Klay Thompson.
He's attacking Klay Thompson.
He's attacking Klay
Thompson. Draymond Green performance at all. That's funny.
Draymond had like. Hold on. First of all,
nah, Byron, you can't say that because Draymond does what they need him to do to win. That's what London said. It ain't about what your numbers say. It's about what you do to help them win.
London is right, and that's why I always say
that's why the Warriors are the Warriors.
Numbers lie, and I say this about Chris Webber. That's my point with Chris Webber.
Hey,
what's your point with
we want to leave Chris Webber alone, yo. Let's leave Chris Webber alone.
Chris Webber had great numbers.
Hey, Trey, please, just give me a 15-second.
Go ahead.
We got off Chris Webber a little earlier, right?
Leave that.
No, numbers lie. No.
I ain't talking about numbers. I ain't even gonna give you Chris. I'm not gonna give you Chris Webber numbers.
He got
give you Chris Webber numbers.
I'm talking about Steph Curry.
No, because you mentioned Chris
Ray,
Webber.
before you go, the only thing to combat what Ray was saying in terms of Klay Thompson's numbers, it's only one word, and the word is gravity. Go ahead, Ray. Keep going.
Go ahead, Ray. Get you 15 seconds, and after that, we go into the next subject.
I'm just saying, bro, this Chris Webber hate gotta stop, bro. Like, this
Facts. No, facts.
Well, here this, bro. Everywhere that guy went, everywhere he went, he made a difference. At a time where freshmen weren't playing, he goes to college and leads 5 freshmen to the national championship game. Freshmen didn't even start there. He had 5 of them. And what did he do for encore? Turned around to the sophomore and went right back. Y'all remember the timeout? Y'all remember he went to 2 national championship games. What happens? Goes to Golden State as the #1 pick, go to the playoffs. Stayed there 1 year. Goes to a trash team in Washington. Within 2 years, they was in the playoffs. Goes to Sacramento. Go look up Sacramento's history. 5 out of the top 6 winning seasons in their franchise history was when Webber was there. They got like 650 win seasons. 5 of them came with Chris Webber. Don't tell me that dude's not a difference maker. Don't tell me he got them in the Western Conference Finals and he made y'all think guys like Doug Christian but Mike Bibby was lit. They wasn't like that, bro. They was like that because they played very good players.
We are not going to disrespect Mike Bibby.
Here we go. Now we're going to act like Mike Bibby. You about to act like Mike Bibby is not. He's a good player. No, he's a good player. Trey, he a good player. I'm saying, when we start talking about all-time greats, we ain't going to talk about Mike Bibby. We're going to talk about Chris Webber, though.
Hell no.
Why wouldn't we?
I'm picking Chris Webber.
I just gave you the rundown, Byron.
I think there's only one Chris Webber hater on the panel right now. So.
And I'm talking.
I want y'all to know,
you are the minority, Byron.
Byron is consistent. He is consistent.
He also
and
said
that is what I would give him. Every time he has come on the show.
Yeah, I'm not mad at him. But I think there is one person though that we all can agree at least is a decent, well-respected man in the NBA, and we got to give him some tribute. JJ Redick, right? And Jerry West. I love them both. You know what I mean? All right, cool. So look, my man JJ is a sports analyst. You know, he came out of Duke, one of the best. No, I'm sorry, my fault. The best school, and he said that
one of the best shooters too. Nah, give him a little bit of credit, not just that.
You said do what?
Give him a little bit of credit. JJ's not just like he didn't come off.
I mean, I just wanted to clarify. I really just wanted to clarify Duke, really. But he's one of the better shooters in the league. History, he didn't win no championships, unfortunately. Was close, but he is saying that some people back in the day were primarily plumbers that were being played against. So How do y'all feel about that, London? How do you feel about that statement from JJ? Because Jerry West kind of responded and was like, who were you? Like, what were your credentials? Like, what did you do?
I mean, with that one, I tried to see it from both sides. So the context of what JJ Redick, he was taking up for Chris Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Russo was saying Chris Paul is not a transcendent player, and that Bob Cousy was.
That's crazy.
So that's where he jumped off. But
crazy.
The way he did it was disrespectful.
That's crazy.
It was disrespectful. Like the way the NBA is doing everything with the NBA 75 and bringing all the older players in and always having them around and interacting is just to strengthen that bond, because it's a completely different game. There literally was plumbers and firemen that was playing in the NBA at that time because the bread wasn't there, right? So, yeah, they might have been plumbers, but they were still balling, and it was just disrespectful. But at the same time, it's a different game. It's a lot more competition. It's a lot more athletic now. JJ Redick probably would have gave some people some buckets back then, but they ain't had a 3-point line. So
JJ Redick can give niggas buckets now, though. I'm just saying.
Yeah. You said he's not?
No, he said he could. He said he could.
Coming off the screens. I'm not saying that he coming out sizing people up and getting to the realm.
He getting a little soft. But the game is transcended vastly.
But he wasn't never that
12 point per game role player, and it was disrespectful for him because he would have been one of the plumbers.
Okay, but let me ask you a question then. Let me ask you a question, right? Because I think the hardest thing is comparing errors.
I was gonna say that, yeah.
That's the hardest thing is to compare errors, because naturally things evolve, right? Naturally things evolve. So it's very hard to compare errors. So I wouldn't say plumbers and things like that, because if you were dominant against your competition, you can't choose what competition to play against. Unfortunately, those are the cards that are dealt. But one question I will ask you is that should players now be held to a higher standard versus players then, right? Because if you look at the level of competition, right, it's totally different. You know what I mean? You got guys, for example, I think a lot of players played quote unquote out of their era. Like a Wilt Chamberlain didn't play in the right era. Kareem, why he was so great is because he played in what did he play in like the mid 60s, 70s, and 80s, right? That was Kareem, right? Yeah, so he played. He played in so many different eras that it's just like LeBron, right? LeBron has played in different eras of the NBA. Y'all know I'm not a big LeBron fan, but I give him credit because he's played literally for 20 years. He's played where basketball was just the mid-range, then super athletic, now it's heavy three-base, and he's able to have success in all elements, all phases. So I guess my question to you is, should we hold these players to a higher standard? Like, players now versus players then.
How do we
find that middle line?
I personally don't like comparing eras too much. That's why I did like a whole basketball god segment when I did like the whole top 10. I don't like saying, Wilt and Bill Russell versus Shaq or Kareem or whoever, just because like the game's a little bit different. So I don't want to say they should do more, but at the same time, I would expect that, just because if I see so many players being able to dribble, being able to pass, okay, well, I'm expecting the game to be a little bit better, a little more strategic. Like I'm expecting more points. When you first started out, they were low-scoring games, and now we know what the forms are. We know how to dribble. We know how to finish with contact. So to a degree, I do expect more, but I don't like comparing eras too much, because again, the games have evolved. Like 20 years from now, 30 years from now, what's the game going to look like? The same or probably different?
I got one thing that I always say when people say, or when people are comparing eras, right? If your ultimate thing is to say, I'm going to have this player play against this player in a one-on-one matchup, and that'll determine who is better, that doesn't determine who's better. It's the same thing we was just talking about with the Warriors. I'm building a team. I know where these different pieces go, and I'm putting people in places where they can do what I need my team to do. Mm-hmm. So this player plugged in on this team is great because what he does. This player plugged in on this team is great just because he's an overall dog. right? It's hard to compare because you can't even compare some players that are in the same era today. I mean, so it's real tough to compare, but the competition is better, shooting is better, dribbling is better, sports nutrition is better. It's a different game.
I'd say that, yeah. Does anybody else have anything they want to say on that question, or?
Yeah, so let's start with like multiple things can be true. Like Redick isn't lying, right? Like he's not lying, right? We just agreed that it was Plummer's plan. Here's my thing about comparing eras. I'm okay with comparing eras in the sense of who had a better career, Jerry West or Dwayne Wade. Like I'm okay with that. Who had a better career? But in comparing the talent, like when people say, man, if you dropped Dwayne Wade in the 60s, if you'd have dropped Dwayne Wade in the 60s, he'd have dribbled like Oscar Robertson, right? He'd dribble with one hand because that's what they did back then. He'd have shot the ball like this with one hand because that's what they did back then, right? Like, you can't look at the evolution of the game and say, I dropped Steph Curry shooting 35 footers in the 60s, he averaged 80. Well, he's not going to do that then. You can't help when you're born. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if you want to compare players based off, you can only dominate the people that line up in front of you. You know what I'm saying? So, in that sense of, which I think Jerry West gets mad respected too. I mean, disrespected. But like, if you go out and dominate the people that was in front of you, that's all you can do, right? Dominate your era, and then you'll be mentioned amongst the greats. I don't look at it like, oh, because you're in this era and there was more competition, I'm gonna cut you any more slack. Like, oh, because you're Chris Paul and you could never win a championship. Right. Well, you got to win in your era to be great. You know what I mean? Like, to be considered amongst that tier of players. So I don't think Redick was lying. I also don't think he was disrespectful, especially in the sense that he was doing it to take up for a player. If y'all listen, Redick, first off, I think he is the best former player analyst doing it right now. Like, and he's always
I like him.
Players.
I like him.
He's pretty unbiased. So, when somebody goes, Bob Cousy was transcended, and his response is, you mean against the plumbers he was playing against? I ain't got no heartache with that. He wasn't disrespecting the air in the sense of like, oh, these dudes, they're not great because of, but to call Bob Cousy transcended, you watch Chris Paul with your own eyes, it's like, bro kind of bugging. So, I ain't really tripping on Redick.
Yeah, no, I agree. No, I think I said you spot on. You can't argue, the people who you play, like I said, that's the same thing you said. You can't determine who you line up against. It is what it is. I guess my question to you off that is, are the greatest players the one that can transcend eras?
Absolutely.
Right?
I say this all the time. Great players transcend eras. Again, like you said, you're not a LeBron fan. You see my background, dog. You see what's going on.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, I'm not a fan, but I give credit.
I'm not a LeBron fan.
Credit.
That's a Kobe fan. We got Kobe and CC on the wall. We got Magic. We Laker land around here, right?
But the thing about the disrespect is you can't do that if the people before you didn't do that. Right? So if I'm saying that all these people was plumbers and firemen and they wasn't that good, and I'm not even that good in my era, I'm disrespecting that
the previous era. I did it. Where
right?
I ended it.
So if you drop Steph Curry back in the 60s, so Steph Curry, he did transcend the game.
Absolutely.
He did shit that people wasn't doing before anybody else.
I see.
And now everybody's copying and trying to do that. But if his dad wasn't Dale Curry, you can't drop it, right? If his dad didn't come before him, if his dad wasn't the sniper that he wouldn't be Steph Curry when he was Steph Curry.
I get
so it's always about the people who came before you, and that's where he stepped out of line because we're all together. So while it might be known that it's plumbers and firemen, you being one of us can't call us that.
I guess my only issue with it would be if JJ Redick was doing it to big himself up, I would have an issue with it. Like if he was like,
but that's why I said I see it from both sides.
Yeah, if he'd have been like, I would have did this in that era too. But he wasn't trying to. Right. He was protecting another player. You know what I mean? So it's like he always does that. Like even when
and I'm gonna be honest, JJ Redick doesn't get enough credit for his career. I think he only missed the playoffs like 1 year out of like 14.
Yeah, he did. Like it was only 1 year.
Don't do that.
He was a great role player. Yeah, he was a great role player. He was a
very good role player. And then late in his career, he really found his stride. He was a 15 to 19 point per game guy.
He wasn't.
Yeah, let's not do
JJ,
that.
JJ is a great. No, I'm saying like he was a. For you to last that long and to be that successful, you have to be doing something right.
Well, JJ Redick is in like pure form, probably the best I ever seen. Flat out just shooting, top 6, 7 all time. Just flat out shooting. Forget the numbers. Forget how many he made because he was never that kind of. He wasn't getting that kind of production. But just shooting the rock. And then in this era, JJ Redick had the most coveted skill in the. I mean, like that's how he stayed around. This, like he had the most coveted skill, and he was really good at it.
Really good.
Very, very good.
True. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Hey, London, let me ask you this because you said when you were talking about how it was kind of disrespectful that we said plumbers or JJ Redick said that, like plumbers and this, that, and the third. So do you find it disrespectful when the old heads are saying that like this generation is or this era is soft?
Yeah, that's the same thing. But that's been what they kind of coach that with Shaq and Charles and those guys. That's their personality, so they're not going to change it. But overall, I feel like they've come around, and that's why they're bringing them all together with the NBA 75 thing, and they want them to meet and have that mutual respect because we all doing the same thing. Like, why are we disrespecting each other? You might be jealous because these cats are getting paid way more than you was. That's why the NBA is bringing everybody together. They say, we still gonna let you eat, right? Go sit in the booth. We'll pay you, right? We getting more money now, so now we're gonna share it. So it's a real good organization. And the disrespect, that type of stuff, they don't want that. But the same way he took up for CP3, that's what Jerry West did for Cousy. And then Cousy, at 93, 94 years old, he called in talking about, he's listing people off. Hey, don't talk about my people. So I think it was good how they handled it, even coming back like they did, letting them get the last word. And JJ, he's real good at what he did, or what he does. So he knew how to kind of did it.
Okay. Well, I mean, fellas, that was the last topic. I usually got a would you rather segment at the end, but it's also a little late too. So y'all want to
trade? Fire us one, bro.
All right, bet. I mean, I'm gonna say if y'all need to log off, feel free. But we are at the would you rather segment, so if you stay on, tough. So I got a question. What's the better duo? We talked about the NFL, we talked about the NFL, we talked about the NBA. So would you trust more Steph Curry and Antonio Brown, or Tom Brady and Russell Westbrook?
Hey, that's a wild ass question, bro. That's a wild comparison.
Steph Curry and AB. Steph Curry and AB.
Okay. What was your selling point?
I don't trust AB enough to do that, though, dog.
So why? I can. It's crazy. I bet. First off, when you said it, I was like, did he say that right? But I can perfectly explain my answer, right? Your problem with AB is always off the field stuff, right?
Yeah. Facts.
But despite all that, when he's on the field, the guy produces 100%. At an extremely high level, right? 100%. All I care about, even up until the antics, right?
100%.
Dude was balling.
100%.
I trust them more because Tom Brady is he's not mine, but Tom Brady's a GOAT. Let's call it. He's one of the greatest of all time. Steph Curry's a GOAT, right? One of the greatest of all time. And then you got these other two guys who are like that next level of, they were superstars during that time. But Russell Westbrook's problem for me is on-court play, right?
Like, why Russ getting the straight?
No, he was part of the question. He said he's not a stray. He was part of the question.
Word.
The question was Steph Curry and AB or Tom Brady and Russell Westbrook.
This is to start your team, to start your franchise, and
I'm trying to make sense of it.
What duo would you trust more so? Because you like he's saying, you got AB, he's had the issues.
Ray, I agree with you now. I agree with you.
Yeah,
I agree.
It's almost like I said about Baker Mayfield. I'm trusting the duo without Russell Westbrook.
I don't know though, because look, like you said,
right.
They both were kind of like AB and Russell Westbrook. They're kind of like that next tier star. So I got to look at that and say, okay, I've seen Tom Brady get over the hump with that next tier star. So if he can do it with AB, why can't he do it with Russell Westbrook too?
So here's another thing though, right? At his peak, I'm saying AB's the next tier star, the pantheon of all-time greats. But at his peak, AB might have been the best receiver in football.
No, and that's
In the
and
league
that's
with
what I was
Julio
gonna say.
Jones.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. That you said he was a tier down. Antonio Brown is one of the best receivers of all time. Like if you look at production.
So what I mean by that is,
in the Pantheon,
Tom Brady is going to be remembered as one of the greatest quarterbacks ever played. Steph Curry is going to be remembered as the second greatest point guard, possibly first, depending on what happens in these next couple of years, right? He's going to be remembered up there.
Tom Brady is going to be remembered as the GOAT of football and one of the GOATs of sports in general. I think that has a little more cachet than Steph. It's like Tom Brady, Steph, and then you can say AB and Russell Westbrook. So it's like a 1 and 4 seed combined, and then the 2 and 3 combined, and they battle each other out.
Disrespect you just threw a step.
Well, I don't.
Quarterback is the most important position out of everything that you name. Quarterback is the most important position. Point guard is not necessarily the most important
Hold on,
position.
watch this. Is it? Is quarterback the most important position? It is.
Yeah.
Who told y'all that?
Popular.
The structure, the culture,
Popular.
the NFL, everything.
Right. It's so popular, and people have brainwashed y'all for years into thinking that. Yeah, because y'all just said it.
I mean, it's still Belichick and Tom Brady.
You gotta think. Okay.
Hold on, Byron, real quick, because I was about to make a point. Then you jumped in and said I was tripping.
My bad.
Like, I didn't just make this up while we was talking. I went back and done the research. I'm 40 years old. I did a blog, and I went back and I researched every single Super Bowl champ from 1980 up until at the time I did it was 2020. That's a 40-year time frame, right? You know what the average ranking defense of the team that wins the Super Bowl is?
Third.
Fourth.
That was close.
The average ranking defense of the team that wins the Super Bowl in 40 years is the number 4 defense in the NFL. Only one time a defense outside the top 15 wins the Super Bowl. The other out of 40, I think it was like, 30 whatever times was top 10, and another 20 something was top 5. Right? I was comparing Joe Montana, Tom Brady, and Peyton Manning. How many times did the Colts have a top 5 defense? Like once. Look at Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers had a top 5 defense one time. Packers defense was ranked second. Guess what happened that year? They won the Super Bowl. Tom Brady, in his career on average, has played with the number 7 defense in the NFL. Like, if you go year by year and average it out. When Joe Montana was winning, the 49ers was top 5 almost every year in defense. We've seen teams with great defenses and bum quarterbacks win. We saw it with the Baltimore Ravens. We saw Trent Dilfer. We've seen Brad Johnson, right? We've seen great quarterbacks look amazing all the way through the season, get to the Super Bowl and get shut down by defense. We saw it happen to Patrick Mahomes with Tampa Bay. We saw it happen to Cam Newton with Denver. We saw it happen to Peyton Manning with Seattle, right? Quarterback, the most important guy. But that defense get out there.
I love the comparison, but the defense is not one position.
I was gonna say that, and
so
you also
got
about
position, not whole side. So you
and I'm gonna say this:
defense. Like you have to pick one defensive position.
You picking a linebacker?
No. What I'm saying is, I'm saying as far as winning football games, a stout defense as a whole, collectively, is the most important thing to have. We've seen teams.
That's like an entity. We're talking about like one position. Like,
and what I'm saying, listen, but that thought process comes from us as fans and media going, you got to have a great quarterback, but you don't.
We're not saying
they're nice to have.
But I think you're misinterpreting what we're saying. We're not saying you don't need a great defense or a good defense. We're saying based on positions, the quarterback is the most important. Like it's the.
I just gave
you can say quarterback.
We've seen numerous. Let me ask you. Okay, so let's flip this for a second, right? In basketball, I think for the longest people have misinterpreted it. Like they tricked us back in the day and said big men are the most important, right? How many all-time great centers won rings without an all-time great one?
I never thought centers were that important.
Right, but wings are way more important than bigs. But for years, they bamboozled fans into thinking it's all about the bigs. Bill Russell won, but he had Bowers, he had Bill Sherman, he had Sam Jones.
There's still two different arguments.
I'm bringing it full circle, right? So you flip it to basketball again, right? You don't win without wings. You don't win without great players, except for the Pistons in the 2004, right? Those are like the Pistons 2004 is an anomaly, right? Why can I name so many teams that have won with mediocre quarterbacks? If they're that important, why can I name so many teams that have won with mediocre quarterbacks? Eli Manning should be a 2-time Super Bowl champ. He ain't that great. Trent Dilfer should be a Super Bowl champ. Brad Johnson should be a Super Bowl champ. Right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for it to be that important, too many teams have success, right? If Derrick Henry was any mild version of himself last year, on that 4th and 1, if he doesn't hesitate like he did, they win that game. And Ryan Tannehill was atrocious. Like it's proven time and time again. You can win with a quarterback play. You can do it.
Okay, but I'm gonna say this. Before I go. Right, I'm gonna say this. Right, you're right that a defense is a necessity, but why are defenses formed? To stop the quarterback.
No, to stop the offense. To stop the offense.
But who is normally in today's game, not 30 years ago, because we're the running back. In today's game,
depends on what team it is. We were just talking about Tennessee.
Whose
name you writing on the board to stop?
Tennessee.
You playing Carolina? Whose name you writing? Christian McCaffrey. You playing New Orleans? Whose name you writing? Alvin Kamara. You playing the Cleveland Browns last year? You writing down Nick Chubb and Alvin Kamara. You said now, right? I'm giving you multiple teams.
But I'm saying they had Drew Brees like the last 15 years, so I wouldn't say Alvin Kamara was.
But you said right,
and Michael
literally
Thomas,
in a span of 10 seconds. You said I ain't talking about before we talking
right
about
now
right
means right. Yeah, right now means this generation. Doesn't mean today. It means this generation of football. I played football, so there's a different generation of football. Nah, you're 40, I'm 26, so there's a different generation of football. So the generation nowadays. I'm not saying that. I'm saying what I'm saying is our lingo's off. That's it. Our lingo's off. Because when I say today, I mean the last like 5-7 years. When I say today, right, that generation. Right. Like for example, who's the best player in the NBA today? If you want to talk about the last 10 years, I would say LeBron, but now I would say Giannis. You know what I'm saying? Like today would be Giannis.
Like for example, Ray, when you say bum back in your day, it meant 16 or top 16. You know
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I mean today. That's what I mean today. So what I'm saying is today, as in the last, I'll probably say 6 years. No, more than that. About 6-7 years of football. Defenses are formed to stop quarterbacks. That's why the highest paid position I was talking about on the show before. There's 5 positions: the quarterback, left tackle, edge, corner, and best receiver. There are 5 positions. They're all.
I'm not even disagreeing with what you're saying. I'm just saying that they bamboozled it. Like they brainwashed the world into believing that this is right. Just like
they touch the ball every play.
Byron, answer yourself. You ask yourself this question and give me an answer. How many quarterbacks drafted number 1 have won Super Bowl?
Oh, it's not that many. You're right about that. I think it's like 1, right? Is it 1 or 2?
Manning got 2. Manning?
Was it? Yeah, Manning. Who else? I honestly don't answer that question. Like this, I don't know the statistics. I really don't know.
I'll throw you another one, right? You just said the highest paid people were who?
I got 8 quarterbacks.
Well, it's number 1 picks?
Yeah.
And they probably all, I would venture to say, majority of them are pre-90. Guys, we probably
David Carr, Eli Manning, Peyton Manning.
You said David Carr? So we counting people that was on the bench?
They're on the list. It's not my list. It's not my list. My list. Drew Bledsoe.
He don't count.
Troy Aikman, John Elway.
So wait a minute. Okay, so we got Troy Aikman, John Elway.
My phone about to die.
Bradshaw. Right. We not counting Bledsoe. He got his ring sitting on the bench. Carr got his sitting on the bench. Point being, and like they make, they marvel at these quarterbacks. I'll give you another one. Tell me how many times the highest paid quarterback in the NFL has won a championship. I can help you. Never. You know why? Ultimate team sports, you got to build so much around it. Like Aaron Rodgers is. If quarterback play was as essential as people would say, Aaron Rodgers would have more than 1 championship. Because the boy, like Stephen A. Smith, that's a bad man. Russell Wilson ain't better than him. And I like Russell Wilson.
I think what you're saying is right, but if I ask you, right, you can plug into any of these positions. You plug into a defensive position, which position are you going to pick? Versus you can be the quarterback. You're always going to want to be the quarterback.
Yeah. So that's like one
because it's the most important from that point of view.
I don't know
what you're saying though is right, because defense overall, according to your research, and that's good research. I have to look at your stuff. But who's the most important? When you build the team,
popular?
Right, there you go.
Popular, I give you that. I will give you popular, right? It's like, in high school, the starting quarterback, he the man. Starting point guard, he the man. It's like in baseball, starting shortstop is the man. Like I agree with, but that's a popular opinion kind of thing, more so than the game itself. And it's like, because you got to remember, this whole conversation stemmed from Brady being this, and then it goes, he's that because he's a quarterback. Bro, I can name 25 players before I get to Tom Brady that I like. If I was building a team, I want that guy. I'm taking Ed Reed before Tom Brady every day of the week. I'm taking Aaron Donald before Tom Brady every day of the week. I'm taking Lawrence Taylor. I'm taking Deion Sanders. I'm taking all those guys before Tom Brady every day of the week. And
if you can take all those people, but your quarterback ends up being Baker Mayfield, are you still taking them first?
Come on, bro, you went way opposite end of the spectrum, fam.
I mean, he's the number one draft pick. Like,
don't do that. If you'd have gave me
that's not way left, because you said there's been bum quarterbacks that won Super Bowls, so that's not way left. He right on the spot. So can you answer that question for us, Ray?
I personally would not want Baker Mayfield, right? You know what I mean? Like,
so let me ask you this:
you wouldn't take a defender
if you could pick one position that is the most important, just not defense, not offense, not special teams, just pick one position.
My honest answer.
Honest answer.
Honest answer. I promise it's not a cop-out answer. There is. I don't know. I'm gonna further explain that. Go. Hey, Trey. Go look at any shows I've ever done where we talk about quarterbacks, and I always start off saying quarterbacks get too much credit, too much blame. They get too much credit for winning, too much blame for losing. Right? But I always say football is the ultimate team sport. There's 3 phases of the game. Everybody got to do their job for you to win. Think about how many times Tom Brady drove the team down the field. If Vinatieri don't do his job, they fucked.
Yeah, no, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? Think about how many games have been won on the legs of kickers, bro.
But they still got to drive them down the field. You still got to be in position.
I agree. I'm not disregarding that. I'm simply saying that everybody has to do their job. We go back to the I don't know if we talked about this tonight or the other show. We did. We talked about Josh Allen, right? You go to the Kansas City and Buffalo game, right? You do all that hard work like Josh Allen did. Played a perfect game. Had to stand on the sideline and watch because his defense couldn't hold up. Or that could have had the same thing could have happened to Mahomes, right? Played a perfect game. Got the ball back with 13 seconds and went 60, 50, 60 yards, whatever. And 2 quick passes, put his team in field goal range. If the kicker missed the field goal, he fucked. If he loses the coin toss, he fucked, right? But he won the game and went to the AFC Championship. And all we gonna say is, and I love Mahomes, by the way, all we gonna say is, man, Mahomes been a starter 4 years, and his basement has been the AFC Championship game. That's his basement. 4 years, Trey, he ain't never been no less than the AFC Championship game, right? Is it all him? No, right?
No.
If that coin flip goes the other way, he'd have been at home watching the AFC Championship game because that defense wasn't stopping Buffalo. So it's like, I genuinely mean that when I don't think there's one position that it's like I think Ed Reed is the greatest safety ever, right?
Okay.
I think Lawrence Taylor is the greatest linebacker ever, right? I think Aaron Donald, you can blurt whatever, it's all over my Facebook. Aaron Donald is the greatest defensive player I've ever seen. Like,
I know right now, I can tell you, I already got another topic written down for this. You gonna be back on the show? Cause I got some people who really love sports. I want to see this conversation again. London, I'm gonna put you back on that episode too. Just cause I feel like y'all two are really battling back at it. I thought you were gonna say something more on the NBA one, but I was surprised on the NFL. That's when you kind of came out and about. So I like that. I like that.
Trey, don't ever ask me no question like this again, though. I didn't even know. Like, when you first started, I was like, who? What?
I like that. You gotta switch it up a little bit.
Bro,
I don't
listen,
think anybody ever asked questions like this before.
Hey, so I'm about to get ready to go too, man. But
Yeah, I'm about to say, like,
hey, bro, I got a new show that I'm about to start, and the whole premise of it is kind of like a one-on-one type deal where I got a few B-list kind of people that I got lined up. Like I just did a podcast with Cal Ripken's son like Monday night.
Shit.
So I got some people lined up, but also at the same time, man, like I keep telling other guys I know, man, the way we all expand our brand is collabing with one another. You know what I'm saying? So on this show, I do this one-on-one, man. I'll be bringing people on, bro. And you done had it a few times. So if you could do me the outstanding honor, man, of passing on my information to London so I get them on my show.
Yeah.
You didn't catch the joke in that?
No, I did. I was like, damn, that's kind of tough.
No, man, you already know what it is, bro. When I start dropping my content, man. Hey, London, I rock with you, dog. Like, I don't know if you do this, but like he said, you was real quiet on the basketball, and he was trying to force you. I see when you got passionate about something, you like, I ain't finna do all that yelling, but I know what I'm talking about too. You know what I'm saying?
So I didn't have anything to plug in the beginning because I'm just now getting started. I work corporate, right? So everything I'm doing outside of work is outside of work. I'm a data analyst. I'm trying to do some freelance with that, but I'm also starting an online business where I'll be.
Where y'all live, bro?
Affiliate marketing with, I got Tesla and shit. So we trying to do Tesla parts and EV cars and shit. So I'll definitely need to be collabing with people and getting my shit going. But I'm still starting up, so I ain't really had nothing to plug just yet. But it's coming.
Where y'all all live?
DMV area.
Yeah, Baltimore.
So none of y'all talk like it. Baltimore, ever since like.
No, I'm from Columbus. Ohio. Yeah,
I'm from Baltimore,
that's how they
but
talk.
I say two. I'm from Baltimore. I say two.
Yeah.
See, the way he just said Baltimore, I know he from because they like Baltimore. Like they like it. They different.
Right.
Yeah, country out here, so I ain't from around these areas.
But
fam.
It was good.
I'm in North Carolina,
I'm
man.
glad you brought me on.
And I'm glad y'all came on the show. I was like, I won't try and go too long, but hey, I saw London was going at it. I was like, I'm gonna stand back. Like, I'm good. Nah, y'all, I gotta bring y'all boys back on the show. But nah, fellas, I appreciate this. I'm just gonna end this now.
Oh, I did not know you guys were still here. As you can see, we're at the back end of the show. No pun intended, but look, hope you all enjoyed it. And before you go, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow the IG account, share the content to anybody who's anybody. And most importantly, leave your thoughts and comments below. But I gotta go back and play Buddy in 2K, so let me unmute him real quick. Excuse me. Hey, boss, I'm back. Nah, you better catch this word. We get buckets around here, too.